I wasn't really that mad when my husband left to go on a trip. But what I learned that he did on the trip before he even got back, well, it's not only disgusting, but it's gut wrenching. And I'll walk you through exactly how I found it out and what I'm going to do about it. I hope you're prepared for this one.
Gosh, I'm so sick to my stomach when I think of what I have just seen. There's no way that my Joe would ever do this to me. He's the epitome of loyal and trustworthy, and I literally brag about his loyalty. It can't be him. Yet he was caught on camera doing something that's too disgusting for me to even think about. Oh dear. I'm feeling hot as I think about what I've just seen. No, this cannot be. We're about to have our 5-year anniversary. I mean, how can I go from the luckiest woman in the world to the woman with the worst luck ever? Well, somehow this is what happened when this evening I get a text from one of his friends telling me that I should leave him because I was being lied to. What followed was a series of text messages that confirmed my horror. It made my skin crawl, in fact, just to read it. I was in disbelief. You must be wondering why I'm even shocked, because anyone's capable of cheating. Well, the reason why I'm so shocked is because of the kind of person that he is. Let me paint you a picture really quick. When I met him, we were both in college doing fellowship assistants for the same professor. We did not run in the same circles, as I was an introvert and he was an extrovert. We worked well together and for long hours together. After a while, he managed to crack my shell. I didn't really have friends, so he started to invite me to hang out outside of class, and I hesitantly went on one little time, and I had a good time. We became friends after that, but I developed a little crush on him. I was so shy that I didn't want to tell him about my crush. He, on the other hand, knew about my crush and felt the same. But he wanted me to make the first move, so of course he teased me a little bit. All in good faith, it drove me mad, but it brought us together. In the last few months of our fellowship, I found out that he was moving to a different city. When I told my friend, she told me that I had to ask him out, and I made the excuse of saying that I was an introvert and not his type. She told me that I would never know. So I mustered up as much courage as I had in my terrified little body and asked him out on a date. I remember that I had to ask him 3 times because every time I got to the date, I froze. But I managed to do it. His reaction surprised me. He did a little fist bump into the air and told me that he never thought that I would ask. I then asked him why he never asked me. He admitted that he was shy, which was a shocker. He was so confident and outgoing, how could I make him shy? We went on a date, it went well, and we got into a relationship. We made it work for a couple of years. Seeing each other on the weekends and holidays was not very easy. And I wished that things were easier. My wish was granted, but not in the way I wanted. See, I started to receive some, weird notes, as if somebody was watching me in my mail. I also started to receive text messages from somebody who had feelings for me, but I didn't know who. It drove me insane, and I begged this person to leave me alone because I loved my boyfriend. Well, my watcher did not stop, which became very traumatizing for me, and I told Joe about it, and he decided that enough was enough. So within a month, he had to move me to my town. He started to freelance work just to make ends meet while he looked for something more permanent in my city. We moved in together for my safety, but it was the best choice ever. See, this whole event brought us so much closer, and I saw just how much he loved me. The watcher got worse though with time, so he decided to involve the police. The cops managed to track down a number, and they sent a warning, and when they did, I thought that was going to be it. But to my surprise, it did. My watcher stopped. After a while, we forgot about it and moved on with our lives. Shortly after this, we got married, and we've been living happily ever after ever since. We have a good balance. I'm more of a home work person. He works here and there due to freelancing, and so he's more outgoing. He's always planning trips with his friends, and I have no problem with it. I do like my own space and tend to spend my time reading, so I don't mind when he's gone. He's always very communicative when away and alerts me every time just in case I get worried. These past few days, he and a bunch of friends decided to hit the slots. I had no alarm bells when he told me that he was hitting Vegas. He hates losing money, so I knew that he would not gamble much. In addition to that, he's a person who can have fun without drinking or using any substances. And when I tell people that I allow him to go everywhere, they're shocked. Some of them warned me that one day I was going to regret it, and I laughed at them. I should have never laughed at them because the day of regret has come. I was about to go to bed 2 hours ago when I got a message. It was from Kevin, one of my husband's good friends who went with him on the trip. He told me that he did not want to cause trouble, but he felt that I was a good woman and deserved to know the truth. He told me that on the way, he had cheated on me. I thought it was a prank, so I just laughed and said, "Ha, goodbye, Kevin." Well, Kevin said he wished it was a prank, but it was not. He told me that my husband and some girl had been all over each other on the plane ride home. He said the other guys did not seem to raise an eyebrow, and Kevin said that he was told to be silent, but he couldn't. He then sent me a picture, but it was a bit blurry. He told me that he had managed to get it at a great risk. He swore that he was telling the truth and was looking out for me, and he said that if it were him, he would also want someone to look out for him. He said sadly that my husband was part of the Mile High Club. I decided to inspect the picture just out of curiosity. The more I looked at this blurry photo, the more I felt sick to my stomach. That was clearly my husband with some woman doing something that I cannot even bring to myself to say. I was in shock for a while and did not respond. I felt the earth spinning around me. I was, as they say, flabbergasted completely and felt like I was going to pass out. I was sure that this was some sort of prank or dream. I decided to leave my phone to go to the kitchen, get water, and when I came back, I was still seeing the same thing, Joe, with some other woman doing disgusting things. I've been unable to sleep, his phone is not going through, and I want to ask him for an explanation. I mean, surely he would never disrespect our marriage like that, right? We mean a lot to him, right? Come on, let this be some messed up prank. I would rather it were than this. This is not the man I married. The man I married loved me to bits and sees no other woman besides little old me. Well, guys, as I sit here, I'm thinking of my options, and I have to admit that some of the thoughts running through my head at this moment are not clear. I have to calm myself down before I take every single one of his clothings and rip them, or before I get to the car and start driving there. What's worse is that he's not picking up his phone. If this is not an admission of guilt, then I don't really know what is. Let me try to find something to calm my mind because sleep is a stranger to me right now. Every time that I sleep, I imagine him with that woman. I mean, it drives me absolutely bonkers, and fire fills my veins. He's so lucky that he's so far right now. Man, he's so damn lucky. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. The first update we're going to jump into came out a week later. But first, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And by the way, if you guys have not heard of my revenge channel, it's Mr. Reddito's Revenge, and I drop revenge stories daily as well. Make sure you search on YouTube, Mr. Reddito's Revenge, and make sure you're subscribed to that channel too. But first of all, we have an update to look at. It came out 1 week later, and here it is. Update number 1. Hey, sorry that I went completely AWOL. I've been doing a bit of digital detox until I figured out what to say, and when I see him, I've been avoiding him. But a decision has been made. The fact that I did not get a hold of him for the entire next afternoon was just proof enough for me. He probably knows that Kevin told me and wants to think of some lie to tell me. Knowing him, he sometimes hates confrontation and tries to avoid it as often as possible. He must not worry, I'm not going to fight with him. I just want out of this marriage. Yeah, that's right, cheating is the biggest deal breaker for me, and I've never forgiven it, and I'm not about to start now. I filed for divorce as of now, but I have not spoken to him yet due to my anger. I fear what I might do or say. I fear I'll fall apart, and I don't want him to see me like that. I want him to see me strong as I divorce him and move on with my life. He made a mockery of our vows, therefore he does not even deserve to be in my presence. I left him a letter telling him that after I found out how disloyal he was, I could no longer stay with him. I told him that he should be expecting the divorce papers soon and that he should not contact me. I knew that he was going to try to contact me though, so I put my phone away and have been using a burner. He'll not go to my workplace because he's not on the visitor list, and I told them not to let him in under any circumstances. He'll not find me anyways because I'm utilizing my vacation days. I thought that I wanted to use those vacation days for our getaway to London. No, I'm not a person who loves traveling because it feels like a hustle, but I thought that I would make an exception this time for our anniversary. Thank goodness I've not booked it yet. Now, there's going to be absolutely no vacation. Guys, I'm currently living with a friend. He will not suspect that I'm at her house. I have many friends from work and some from my life, and he's sometimes, working or not at home when Layla comes over. So he knows of her, but has no idea where exactly she stays. Layla has been an absolute sweetheart throughout all this. She's supported me, which has meant the world to me even. She said that I can stay for as long as I want because she has an extra bedroom. Honestly, I've been able to forget about my crappy life for just a while now, and it's been because of her. I'm extremely grateful to her for her company, and I'm going to make sure that she never forgets it. Well, guys, I have to go now. I just wanted to give you a bit of an update on everything that's been happening, and I'll let you know of any new developments. For now, I have to figure out what my life even means now that I'm getting divorced. I'm so used to having him in my life that I cannot remember a time when he was not there. Sometimes I think that maybe I should forgive, but the pain I'm feeling stops me. I can't forgive and forget, and we must end. Time is going to heal. Like Layla said, I'm going to get used to not having him around. I'm going to get used to him not being here to crack jokes when I'm stressed. It's going to hurt, but it must be done. If I choose to stay, I'll be breaking my heart even further. Update number 2, 2 days later. Hey guys, I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to see my husband for the first time tomorrow. We have to meet with our lawyer, which is the only way that I've agreed to see him. He has at least respected me by telling him not to contact me. He knows how I feel about being harassed, so at least he still has respect for that. Right now, I'm shooting off some emails at Kevin's home. I needed to look at something urgently, so I asked to use his computer. I'm going to send one more email and then go home, and I thought I might as well just post an update while I was here. It came to his home today to thank him for opening my eyes. I'm sure it was not easy for him to throw his friend under the bus, but he did it. I'm thankful for his dedication to the truth. Kevin and his wife Cecilia have been our friends for years now, and I don't really know them that well, but both he and his wife are very, very polite and keep to themselves. Kevin and Sela are both very wealthy. Their house is like a maze. Despite that, Kevin is down to earth and Cecilia is classy but never snarky. I like her. I actually thought that she was going to be here when I came today, and when I got here it was just Kevin and the house. I asked him where his wife was, and he said that she was on vacation. Well, I said that, I was not going long. I just wanted to ask him a few more questions about what happened on the trip. He was kind enough to ask how I was holding up and let me know that they would help with anything if I needed it. Honestly, just hearing him say that, it made me want to cry. To be honest, there are many things that make me want to cry right now. I guess it's because of all these emotions inside of me. Kevin was very shy and cautious, saying that I did not have to thank him, but it meant a lot to him that I believed him. He then asked if I wanted something to eat. I said no, but he said that he made too much food, and with his wife away, there's no one that could eat it. He said that he hates wasting it, so I said yes, just to be polite. I then asked if I could use his washroom. After that, I get a message from work. I went to the kitchen to tell him that I completely forgot to do something for work and that I needed to get back home to my PC. Well, he told me that he has a PC in the study I could use. I was very thankful, but I told him that he had been too kind already, and he said there's no reason for me to waste time driving back while hungry. At that point, my tummy growled. So now I'm on the study updating you as I wait for my colleague to send a photo to me. Oh gosh, now I have to print this out. Let me get to a printer. Oh my gosh, this just happened right now and I'm freaked out at what I saw. I have to get the hell out of here. I'll tell you everything I just saw soon. Oh my gosh, I also have to log out of this account before he sees it. All I can tell you is that I should have never come here. Update number 3. A day later. Hey everyone, first of all, I'm alive. I needed to take some time so that I could process what I saw, and I'm sorry for not letting you know that I was okay when I got home. So much has happened right after that, and I simply did not get a chance, so let me continue telling you exactly what I saw. When I went to use the printer, I noticed that it was overflowing, so I removed some of the copies and set them aside. They were pretty colorful, so I looked through them and my heart stopped when I realized what I was looking at. I was looking at pictures of me. There are so many pictures of me here, so many. They were from my social media and some were from outside my workplace. Was Kevin having me followed? Was he working with my hubby to get dirt on me? That was my very thought when I saw those pictures. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was meant to distract me so that Joe could get what he wanted in the divorce. I need to get to the bottom of this and find out just how loyal of a friend Kevin was. He was still in the kitchen, so I decided to do a quick sweep of the office. As soon as I did that, I told you guys I was going home. I was too spooked, so I went through his drawers and folders, and there was one particular folder that I found that had hundreds of pictures of me. Those pictures date back many years, and most importantly, they date back to the years when I had somebody watching me. I was truly petrified when I realized what was going on. Kevin was not working with my husband, he was probably the one who was watching me, and from the looks of it, he had not stopped. He had been right under my nose and I never even saw it. Gosh, I felt scared, and I knew that I had to get the heck out of there. I ran out and bumped into him and he asked if I was okay and I told him that there's an emergency at home and I really need to go. He said that the food was ready and surely I could spare a moment. I laughed and said that I didn't want to have to answer to my big family, and he laughed and said that he knew what that was like. I told him that I was going to keep in touch, and then I ran up out of there. The first place I went was back home. I didn't even notice how messy the place was, and all I needed was Joe. I ran through the whole house until I found him passed out by the balcony, and immediately I hugged him and started to cry. I was shaking so badly that I could not say a word. All I wanted was for him to hold me and say that he's my safe space. My mind kept going back to those pictures, and each time a new wave of fear would come over me. He managed to get me to calm down after a while and asked me what's going on. He said that he had been confused about why I suddenly left, and it's been eating at him. Looking at him, I felt so sorry. It was all my fault for not listening to Kevin. You know, between all of the panic, I somehow came to the conclusion that Kevin lied about Joe cheating, but I wasn't sure. Either way, Joe looked thin, and he had not shaved in days. I just felt horrible, and I wanted to just hold him and not let him go. After that, we had a very long discussion about everything. My lunch break is done, but I'll let you know everything that went down in just a bit. I'm sure that you've been waiting for answers for years. I'm so sorry I'm terrible at giving updates. Final update. Guys, this came out 4 months later. I know it's been more than a while since I said I would update you and things happened in succession with each other. I decided to let things play out so that I could tell you the full story so as not to bother you with multiple small updates. Thank you so much for being patient and for your support, but let me finish where I first started. See, my husband and I had a long talk about everything. I showed him the messages and pictures that I got and he looked me straight in the eyes and told me that was not him. He would never do that to me, and he said that the whole time I was gone, Kevin acted dumb and supportive. He never mentioned that he spoke to me and said something, and Joe's guess was that Kevin had photoshopped the photo and sent it when they sent him to the store. He and his friend had picked up a more affordable motel to save money. The Wi-Fi there had been terrible the whole weekend, and he only got service the day that he was supposed to come home, but I never answered my call. When he got home, all he found was a note that told him that I was leaving him. He tried to contact me, but to no avail, and soon he was served with divorce papers. He planned to confront me when our lawyer met each other, but then I suddenly came to him. He was surprisingly very forgiving for the mistake that I made, and as for Kevin, he was upset with him and wanted to beat him up. I told my husband that we had to be tactful if we wanted him to get him out of our lives, so we were. We waited till Cecilia came home, and then we told her absolutely everything. I then told her where to find Kevin's folder of pictures of me, and Cecilia found out all of this and went to her parents. Her parents did some digging and were able to get more proof to confront Kevin. I was not there when this happened because I was too traumatized, but Cecilia kept me up to date. Apparently, Kevin blamed his and her parents for never giving him a chance to choose the one that he wanted to marry. He resented his marriage to Cecilia because it was loveless. He fell for me years ago when we worked at the same company, and he watched me for a while but had to stop when the cops warned him. He knew that if anybody found out, he would lose his inheritance. So he let it fester over the years, and he even befriended my husband to get close to me. And he's always been watching. Cecilia decided to go to the parents with the information. They were not very happy about this, so they straight up disowned him. Cecilia then divorced him afterward and reported him for watching. The cops looked through his entire house, where they found evidence of just how depraved he was. Having lost everything, he confessed what he had done. He said that he saw no point in lying because I chose Joe over him. Since we already have a case against him, the new evidence helped to build that case. He was sentenced. 5 years in prison. If he ever violates that term of his sentence, then he will have more years added. He's not supposed to contact me even once, or they'll add more years to his sentence, and because of that, Joe and I decide to relocate to a place where no one knew us for a fresh restart, and thus the nightmare has ended.
I want to read this one comment before we get up out of here. Guys, Emma Wilkins. She says, "Oh dear, OP, my mouth was on the floor with each update. I could never guess what was going to happen next. Talk about having a crazy life. I'm glad that you're okay and that the mystery of that man watching you has been resolved. I sympathize with you, but the person I sympathize with the most is Joe. Poor Joe, was nothing but good throughout all this, even when you doubted him. In the first post, you made me believe that this man was infallible. Therefore, it really made it hard for me to think that he really did this. Throughout, I kept getting the feeling that something else was at play. I kind of suspected that maybe Kevin wanted you for himself. Not to say that all men are like that, but have you ever seen a man break the bro code? Kevin breaking it definitely had me raising up my eyebrows. Gosh, he's such a creep for what he did to you. I'm so sorry." So guys, let me know what you think about that comment, and if you have any advice you would give OP, drop it down below. Let's talk about it. Thank you guys for joining me on today's video. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day. And if you want to be a part of these stories, hit that subscribe button. But don't forget, it's cool to be kind. See you later.